live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and I hope you had a spooky Halloween, and we're back here at the Adafruit factory. I'm Miss Lady Ada, and this is Mr. Lady Ada.
And I ate all the black jelly beans.
You did. I like the pear ones the most. And we're here at the Adafruit factory. We're doing our weekly Ask Engineer show that we do every single week at 8 p.m. here in New York. It's such an exciting show where we talk about all the news, and the to-be news.
All the news that's fit to solder.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Why don't you tell them what's on tonight's show?
Well, first, we started the show, we were cycling out our songs. That was from the album Long Distance by Infinity Shred. We have that in our store.
Yeah.
That was one of the band members is an Adafruit team member, Damien, and it's really cool. Damon, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I have lots
There's a lot of D-A-M.
Damien is the creator of MicroPython.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damien works here.
You could be Damien.
Yeah.
Like the devil.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
But no, it's
okay.
yeah.
On tonight's show, the code is SAMD. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, except for
gift certificates, EagleCAD software, and AdaBox subscriptions.
All right. Okay, good. We got that going on.
Whew.
All right. Show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing your projects. Pack mailbags and stop by. Time travel. Maine, New York. Some Internet of Things that won't hurt your feelings. 3D printing. Special Pi news and more. An interview with Particle. New products. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have a top secret.
Really?
A trivia question. All that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Yay.
All right. So let's pay some bills. Okay, first up, again, code SAMD. It's because we really like this chip, and we'll be talking about that more. And we're also going to be debuting something tonight. Or someone, I should say. Yeah. All right. Programming note, this is Ask an Engineer. It's on every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and Show and Tell every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. We still have the UPS deal going on right now. We're going to be switching up to freebie soon, but right now $200 or more and you get free UPS ground in continental USA. Same day shipping in New York if you order before 11 a.m. and you're in a zip code. And watch the site soon for the Adafruit holiday shipping deadlines because it's coming up fast, folks.
Better prepare.
Yep. All right. Show and tell Lady to people around the world showing and telling their projects. We had one person who this is their 3rd anniversary going on the Show and Tell to show their projects.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
so
right,
we had a nice and perky show and tell. Start off with Tony DeCola from Adafruit Northwest. He has been working all month on MicroPython videos and guides. He's been doing it for actually 2 months now and just cranking out all sorts of libraries, guides, tutorials for using MicroPython on the ESP8266 Wi-Fi microcontroller, as well as our new experimental super beta, not ready for wide release, but check it out if you're hardcore, SAMD21 MicroPython build. So that's kind of neat, and Phil and I are also trying it as well. So this week's was Charlieplex Wing, so it's like a really beautiful jewel-esque LED grid, and also building a Wi-Fi controlled rover, all in Python. So check that out if you're interested in the Python programming language. It's an interesting way to program microcontrollers. The interpreter runs on the microcontroller itself. Just kind of blows your mind, but it's also really fun because you get to just type in stuff and it just happens.
Tony will be at SuperCon, and so will John Park. Say hi.
Absolutely.
Hackaday conference.
If you're going to be at the Hackaday conference, check that out. Noah and Pedro, this week's project is a rainbow chair, or rainbow butts, as I like to say it. More butts on rainbows. And it's a 24-hour print of a 3D printed kind of it's like a sponge looking chair, and you get some dowels from the hardware store, cut them down, put it together. It has a plastic fitting and even plastic little floor protectors. And it has a little cavity for NeoPixel 60 LED ring, and you put a feather BLE in there, and you are just rocking out with bright LED glowing chair. So cool for the outdoors, and of course control it with your phone. And then Scott also popped in. Scott is Tan Newt, who has been showing off for a couple months a lot of the drone stuff he's working on for his company, which of course I forgot, something tech. Chickadee Tech. But he's also helping us with porting MicroPython to that SAMD21 processor. Wow, it's almost like the SAMD is a theme today.
Yes, he's mastering time right now.
He's mastering time and U-time. So he's like Doctor Strange of time. And he's working on the Metro Express. So that's like a Metro with a SAMD processor that's specifically designed for running MicroPython. It's going to have a little NeoPixel for status on it. And he's just showing off how it will tell you what the Python interpreter is doing, so it gives you some visual feedback, and he wanted to show that off.
Yeah, I'm going to recycle my joke 3 times.
Recycle it.
So we're putting a little NeoPixel on this board, so when you're doing things, it gives status. So it's the tiniest touch bar. So Apple has their thing, we have our thing.
We could put a capacitive touch around it, and that when you could detect when you've touched the NeoPixel, basically.
Yeah, as long as it's in a smart enclave.
It's going to be in a little
It'll
zone.
be in a NeoPixel
We can
package.
like draw a house on the circuit board, like a little house.
Yeah,
with
that's
like
fine.
smoke coming out and like a cat
I can
in
do
front
that.
or something. So close to that. Or a cave it, so we can actually just draw a cave. That'd be cool. Okay, Lottie came back, hasn't been on the show and tell for a while, but came in with a killer project, working on making a little bit of cash by burning Star Fox 2 ROMs onto Super Nintendo cartridges that support the same chipset. So, those cartridges that used to come with games, they were actually just like flash chips, basically. And so you could, if you had a ROM burner, get a fresh chip, burn a new game onto it, and then solder it on, and then you have your custom SNES
Yeah, it's cool.
game or cartridge. So what he's doing is basically taking this unreleased
Star Fox 2.
Star Fox 2 game and burning it onto, what was the game of it? It was
Oh, I forgot the name of the
like
game.
something racer,
Yeah.
like Space Racer or something,
Yeah.
and burning Star Fox onto it, and it's got this really cool 3D printed mount that has a ZIF connector, so you could put ROM chips in it. So check that out if you're interested in playing Star Fox 2 on your Super Nintendo. Virgil, it is his 3rd annual Halloween show and tell visit. He's been building a cauldron, started off with a Arduino, then moved to a Trinket, and now using a Pro Micro, a SD card breakout, and an audio amp from us to make it so when you take the candy out of the cauldron, it plays one of 9 different sound effects. So kind of neat, and it's neat. It's every year, it's let's see if we can make this project more advanced, learning something every time, which is cool. And then Jarek has a crowdsupply.com funding platform thing going on. He's making e-paper shields for the teensy. So if you want to add a adorable little e-ink display, check that out. It's on CrowdSupply. There's not that many things on CrowdSupply, so go there and just type in e-paper, and I'm sure it'll pop up.
Yeah, I'll put the link in one of the many chats. As a company policy, we usually don't promote Kickstarters or Indiegogos because there's the backers who have to get fulfilled, and we don't want to say, oh, get this or whatever. But CrowdSupply is interesting. They have a really high success rate. We did a Maker to Market video series on this. And I also like CrowdSupply because you can continue to purchase later.
And also, they have to come on the show and tell. So we're not promoting it. We're just saying that they promoted it.
Yeah,
so that way it's there.
Yeah, but the neat thing is, if you do want to promote your CrowdSupply...
it's right there, e-paper. Yeah.
Oh, e-paper?
Yeah, e-paper.
Okay. You can keep going. I'll post
Sorry.
it in the chat.
Yeah. Sorry, so the e-paper shield for Teensy. But yeah, check it out. There's a lot of really fun projects on CrowdSupply. The Novena laptop that we picked up, that was Bunny's project. And all new stuff every. Actually, I am subscribed to the newsletter. I will say it. I subscribed because it's interesting. But that's it. That's all we had. We had some heavy hitters
Yeah.
in show and tell.
All right.
That was your show and tell.
All participants on the show and tell get an ASCII on the show and tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com and we'll send you out one. This is all part of the Adafruit Live series, and we just released a new trailer for our videos, so I'm going to play it.
This is Adafruit. We bring do-it-yourself electronics to life here in our New York City factory. On our YouTube channel, you'll discover hundreds of unique open source projects that you can make at home. Explore the A to Z's of electronics with Adabot and friends in Circuit Playground. Learn to build internet-connected projects with hardware like the Raspberry Pi. Become acquainted with a variety of technologies and the forces that make them work.
Hello.
Tune in every week for Ask an Engineer with Lady Ada, the engineer. Meet makers and their inspiring projects from around the world. Show off your own creation in our on-air weekly hangout, the Electronics Show and Tell. Get inspired on 3D Thursday, where we'll share a new project you can build. Join Lady Ada streaming live engineering, sharing maker business secrets, and real-time surprises from the desk of Lady Ada. We've got something for everyone, so subscribe to Adafruit on YouTube and explore our video library. Welcome to the world of Adafruit.
Okay, we had some deaths of Lady Ada during the week, but they were on Periscope. And then we had Tony D's desk. We're going to go over the guides, and there's a video with each one. And like Lady Ada said, we're doing a lot of MicroPython stuff. And that's why the code tonight is SAMD, because we're working on a SAMD version of MicroPython. So in like 2 sentences, why is it interesting to you?
What?
MicroPython, yeah.
MicroPython is interesting to me because a lot of students are learning the Python programming language, which is a very easy programming language to learn compared to most others. And you can write code that is interpreted right on the microcontroller. So you don't need a compiler, you don't need an IDE, you don't need to install any software. You actually plug in the microcontroller board and it shows up as a disk drive, and then you double click on the Python file and you just edit it, save it, and automatically starts running that code. So it's a really fast and elegant way of programming. It brings the power of Python from the desktop into something that's portable.
Okay. And
that was more than 2 sentences,
yeah,
but
it's fine.
I'm loquacious.
And Damien did this amazing version of MicroPython for microcontrollers, and that's what we're building on. So this is we have a sticker in the store, and we support his efforts. We give him money, and we're going to hopefully have the best way to do stuff like this.
Look at how cute that Python is.
Yeah,
So
I don't have a
cute.
name for this little snake though. I don't know if there's a name, but if you have a name, let us know.
Black Mamba.
That's fine. So a lot of this came from also Atmel, which is recently acquired by Microchip. They had
They will be good. Wait like 2 minutes and they'll be acquired by Intel.
hit refresh on
I know.
TechCrunch and you'll hear that next. But they had this. We had this idea. So we got this is AVR Man. We didn't make this, and AVR Man. We got this. This is a little marketing thing. So they made this action figure, and it says superheroes prefer AVR microcontrollers. And there's AVR Man. But I knew that, there's lots of young engineers out there, and maybe they don't just want AVR Man. So
Also, this is 8-bit.
it's 8-bit.
Old.
We'll get to that.
Tired.
We'll get to that. So, and also, I think this guy's on gear. That's what they call steroids in the biz, by the way.
He does look steroidy.
Yeah. So, I don't know if they direct test AVR superheroes, but if they did, I think he would come up. So, what we decided to do, and this was during the last year, and then Atmel got acquired. So, all the different people at Atmel that we were talking to about this went away. But we made up our own character. And this is Sam. And Sam's pretty cool. She is, maybe I'll ask you, why is Sam, if you were to compare Sam to AVR Man, why is Sam better?
So I'll tell you the thing about Sam. So she's 32-bit. So she's off the top already 4 times faster and smarter than AVR Man. She's also flexible and fast and can do a lot of different things. So AVR Man just kind of does one thing, chugs along, real cheap date. But Sam, she's got a lot of power, a lot of smarts, a lot of flexibility. Next generation superhero for next generation microcontroller, criminal fighting. I don't know exactly what she does, but she solves your problems.
So I think we're just going to make our own action figures, and we're just going to tell people this is Sam and it's this chip, and we'll see it. We'll see if.
And she's brainy, right? She's a Cortex.
Yeah.
So she's really, she thinks she's, it's Batman's supposed to be he's a fighter, but he's actually supposed to be the detective, right?
Yeah.
So she's actually
Detective
more.
Comics. That's what
it's a Detective Comics. So she thinks hard in her brain. She thinks very hard.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, in the world of culture jamming, there's something called drop lifting where you put things into stores that aren't there. So I think we're gonna like drop mascot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Since we're doing all the SAM stuff, anyways, that's why the code was SAMD. So okay, moving right along. Mailbag. These are the emails that y'all send us, and we read these in our all-company meeting every week called State of the Fruit, and we're going to read them to you now too.
Okay.
This is from Tap. I think what you're doing to promote the love of science and tinkering among the young is an excellent way to enhance tomorrow. This old E is looking forward to relearning things from Circuit Playground characters. Becky, Colin, Lady Ada is just fun. When are Hans, Cappy, and Mo going to get together in a video? Thank you for supporting 3D Thursday's Pi Day show. Tell Ask an Engineer. It's fun and inspires many useful ideas.
Yay.
Well, we have the puppets back here.
Wait, where are you going?
Well, no, they're back here. They're way back here. And they're all going to be
behind my head.
Yeah, they're all going to be in a new Circuit Playground video, so you'll see lots of them very soon. Okay. And then next up, a little bit of biz. So some of you got an email from us, and it was titled "Keeping Your Account Protected," and this is part of Mailbag this week. And what we needed to deal with was something that all sites have to deal with. So if there is even a vulnerability discovered where a independent security researcher or someone says, hey, I noticed this thing, if we think that it was even possible for any type of user information to get out there, we'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is the standard that we're held to.
Yeah.
So you can read it. It's on our blog. And if you had an account in our forums from 2014, and it's a very small number of accounts, the old way to encrypt those passwords was called something MD5. Right?
Yes.
And
like
then
a
and
salted
later,
MD5.
Yeah, and then later on we moved to bcrypt, and that's what a lot of people use. But there could have been a way, and thankfully there was a nice independent security researcher who said, hey, here's a way that something can happen. So what we wanted to do is let those people know you should do a password reset just in case.
You never know. We have logs and we have no evidence that it's ever happened before.
Yeah, and we don't store credit cards. This wouldn't have been any of your personal information. It would have been an email or username and this MD5 password. So we decided, we got together, we said, what's the best way to handle this? So we sent out emails to those small number of users from back when we used to have the site set up that way. And we did a full disclosure. And we didn't need to do it, but I didn't expect a response. So the response, and this is why it's part of Mailbag, is I think this world that we live in, this post-WikiLeaks and Yahoo got 500 million accounts, and every day something happens.
How did they even have 500 million accounts?
I was like, that's more than like, that's
America,
everybody.
yeah. That's like everybody.
So one of the things that we sent these emails out, and the responses we got were really nice, because we're like, hey, you should reset your password. Just want to thank you for the most ethical, thoughtful disclosures I've ever seen. Many props. You handled this properly. I particularly want to call out you thanking the vulnerability experts, encouraging further research. I think you're just terrific. And you keep proving it. Well done. This is how vendors should respond to InfoSec issues. Well done, Adafruit. Just wanted to say this is excellent. Please reset your password email. And it goes on and on and on. And we'll post these later. But one of the things, if you're a maker business, you're any business, because we're responsible for 150 people or so, and we're responsible for millions of orders and hundreds of thousands of people, we'll always do this. We'll always let you know what's going on. You won't have surprises. So that is what we decided to do.
Yep.
And thank you so much, everyone who gave our team kudos. And thank you to Daigo and to Justin and to Marty and to Brian and to Dean and to just everyone on our team that's been doing it. Brennan.
You did stuff too.
Everyone's my boss. They tell me what
true.
to do. But thank you, everyone here, and then everyone out there that helped us. Jared, we have a data and privacy lawyer. We wanted to make sure we did everything correctly. And just thank you, everyone. We'll always do this. That's one thing that you should know for sure.
And we've always thought about, of course we want to keep our systems as secure as possible, but we do a lot of things to make sure that your data is already safe. Like, we don't store credit card information. We never have, and we never will.
Yeah, we made that decision.
We made the decision a long time ago, which means that we can't really do back orders and like do flexible fulfillment. But as a trade-off, we don't have to have even the thought of what if there's another heartbleed or some other gigantic.
Something is going to happen. By the way, like something is always going to happen.
There's
accounts.
a bug in the Linux kernel. I mean, like you even if we patch everything, you never know.
Yeah, Mail at Yahoo, there was a kernel mod, and we were able to read all your emails. So like we just wanted to make sure that we always told everyone everything, because it's better to tell everyone and then later not get caught because you hid information.
So that we don't store. So you don't have to worry about like
Yeah.
credit card data, we don't store
So, it's always scary because you don't know what's happening at first, but you should always do the right thing. And if you're a business owner or if you run a website or anything, this is the right way to do it. So thank you, everyone.
it. Yay.
All right.
Okay.
So moving right along, we've got just a ton of stuff this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on to time travel. Time travel this week. Okay, time travel. A look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers. This one's neat. Happy birthday, Mitch Kapoor, founder of Lotus Software and EFF.
Boston area hero.
Yep. And part of time travel now, if we have anything going on the site, we let you know. So it's Native American Heritage Month, and this was also on our site in our time travel section. So say hello to Commander Harrington, the first Native American to walk in space. So his maternal great-grandmother was of Chickasaw descent, and the Shuttle Endeavour 2002, it was flight STS-113, and he made his mark in space by being the first Native American to walk in space.
That's
so
cool.
Check that out. All right. Next up, we had Halloween. That was part of our time travel this week. Happy Halloween from Adafruit, and some of the people from Adafruit dressed up. And not only did they dress up, the Angels costume was really good, but we also had a special video from John Park, one of our remote team members. Take it away, John Park. And in open source hardware news, we do our usual Adafruit learning guides. I have Tony's two here, so you can do those, lead Ada. But right now we have 1,095.
Ooh.
So what was in the learning system this week?
Okay, so we have the glowing LED chair. We're going to talk about that. Show the video from Noah and Pedro. That's 3D Thursday. We had an awesome project by Carter Nelson, who's a visitor on the show and tell, and is doing some fun Circuit Playground projects for us. This one is called How Cold Is It? And it's a fun project. You can put your Circuit Playground in the fridge, and you can see the compressor kick in. It's a data logger, and also it can display the temperature for you. You got the Tony D videos on MicroPython, the DC motor stepper driver, made a little robot with that. We also have the tutorial for the DRV8833. It's a breakout from last week, a little motor driver that's good for low voltage motors. And I think that's it for this week's tutorial.
Okay. And then we have two specific ones that I want to call it. Tony just posted these MicroPython hardware LED backpacks, feather wings, then Charlie Plex.
Yep.
And
2 ways to get glowy.
Yeah. All right. Next up. This is a section if we have some footage or more going on at our factory here. This is neat. The team took some photos. It was a beautiful sunset here. This was our pick and place machines is a sunset, and then this was from yesterday. Running machines. Wait! Ah. All right. Okay, and this is Nimbus, the friendly IoT entity. And we have Adafruit.io. That is our Internet of Things site for makers. And it has all these neat dials and dashes and more. And Todd, one of our lead developers on it, made this. And this is a really neat blacksmith's forge temperature tracking that he did. And he had a thermocouple amp, and it's pushed over Wi-Fi to Adafruit.io for charting. So he can see his forge forging.
Also, it's also he has a time lapse. But yeah, it was funny. He was talking to me because he was asking me about the Mac thermocouple and like what kind of thermocouple, and then he showed the screenshot, and I was like, and at first I was kind of shocked because it said like 1800 degrees, and I was like, oh my god, something's wrong with your thermocouple, and then I realized no, actually it's that hot.
Yeah,
it's really hot.
Okay, and then another thing. So we have our Internet Things Bill of Rights. We want to stick to it. We also want other people to do it. So it's now on GitHub. So you can participate on GitHub and help shape what type of rights you think Internet of Things devices and you as a user or the world could start to have. So we believe like if there is a public Internet of Things device that's logging data, you want to have access to that if it's logging stuff. If you use a service like Adafruit.io, you should be able to take your data away. You should be able to delete it. You should be able to maybe put data feeds under certain licenses, kind of like code. Like how do I want you to use this or not? So it's a start. It's now on GitHub. And that brings us to the news that was announced today. Good news, fixing your car isn't illegal anymore. Yeah, the DMCA, there was an update. So I actually thought about this with you. You do reverse engineering. You will now not be breaking the law and going to jail because of this.
Yeah. Well, it basically says you can't say, and this is very interesting because we were talking with Michael Weinberg about this about a year ago. We were like an Indian restaurant. We were chatting about, he was trying to figure out how to find more exceptions to the DMCA. And so they decided, fixing a tractor would be a good example because tractors have a lot of security, they're basically have software locks on them. And then of course, just like good chance, bad, I don't know, but a month later, the Volkswagen diesel gate event happened, and it was so easy to prove like, hey, we need to be able to research and reverse engineer cars because here's a concrete example of a company lying to customers about what it's doing, and the only way you'd be able to really tell what's going on is to reverse engineer the firmware or reverse engineer the car. So what I like about the Center for Public Policy is the name of it, they go in and they just try to keep making carve-out exceptions to give us freedom back from this gigantic law that restricts reverse engineering just the reverse engineering, even if there isn't any copyright violation. They can basically say, the reverse engineering should be illegal.
Yeah. And I think with all these devices now doing so much, you should be able to reverse engineer them, and at least for research to make sure, like all the webcams in the world don't take down websites.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should probably have an exception for IoT devices. You should be able to reverse engineer them because if it's getting your data and putting it on the cloud, you should have the right to reverse engineer it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, 3D printing. Now, Pedro, I've been printing up a storm, but this time I'm printing up a stool. So here we go. We're going to play that stool video. Okay.
In this project, we'll show you how to make a glowing stool using NeoPixel LEDs and 3D printing. The NeoPixel LEDs are Bluetooth connected, so you can change the colors and animations with the Adafruit Bluefruit LE app for smartphones. The 3D printed seat can hold up to 200 pounds of weight, so it's safe to sit on, and you can use it indoors or out. The electronics are mounted to the bottom of the seat, and they appear hidden when viewed from above. Wooden dowels act as the legs and feature rubber feet that are 3D printed in NinjaFlex. This provides proper grip so they won't slip on surfaces or dig into the ground. A high capacity battery makes it fully portable, and it's also rechargeable. The design files are free to download, so you can 3D print them yourself or send them to a 3D printing service like 3D Hubs. You'll only need a few electronic components to build this project, all of which you can find in the links below. The seat takes about 24 hours to 3D print, and it requires a large build volume. We 3D printed this on a Type A machine's Series 1 Pro with a 30% infill and translucent PLA filament. To start this build, we'll need to solder together 4 quarter-sized NeoPixel sections to make this 60 NeoPixel ring. You can follow along with our step-by-step tutorial linked in the description. We'll need to apply a decent amount of solder to join the 3 pads together. Then we can connect the wires to ground, power, and data in. The wires can be routed through the holes in the seat. A 3D printed cover will protect the NeoPixel PCBs from any moisture or potential forces. To connect the wires to the board, we'll strip away some insulation and tin them with a bit of solder. The data in wire from the NeoPixel ring will connect to pin number 6 on the Adafruit feather. We secured the Adafruit feather to standoffs that are on the bottom of the seat using M25 machine screws. A slide switch will allow us to turn the circuit on and off. This can be wired to the enable and ground pins on the Adafruit feather. A 2000 mAh battery will connect to the onboard JST, and it can be tucked inside one of the holes on the seat. The Adafruit Bluefruit LE app connects to the featherboard, and it works with both iOS and Android devices. You can use the color picker to choose different colors, or the controller pad to trigger animations. The Arduino sketch can be found in the tutorial linked below. For the wooden dowels, we 3D printed these rubber feet in NinjaFlex. The bottom of the seat features these couplers for the dowels to be inserted into. A triangular frame adds stability to the legs, and it will keep them in place. And that's pretty much it for the assembly. This project can be easily connected to the internet using a Wi-Fi connected board. For example, you could have the LED animations match the weather, or they can change when you get a notification. We want to hear what ideas you have for this project, so you can let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
Okay, and we have 3 time lapse. I'm going to do them really fast. Bam! Okay, there's
More.
Okay, check out No Pager tomorrow on 3D Hangouts. And now we have some Pi news. So we had the CTO of Particle stop by, and it was before they released this, and it's particle.io slash Raspberry Pi. I can look at the link later. I think I'll put
Very small text.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the link is. Because at the end of this, it says there's an undisclosed URL at the time, and they just released it, so it's particle.io/particle-pi.
Particle-pi.
Yeah, and Zach came by, and you interviewed him. So it's about a 10-minute interview. Check it out, and it's the new thing that Particle is doing with Arduino. You can do all sorts of neat stuff with the Particle that you can do.
Yeah, basically, if you have a Raspberry Pi, you can take advantage of the Particle Cloud.
Yeah.
But why don't we have Zach explain it?
That's a good idea.
A business desk of Lady Ada. This is me. I'm Lady Ada, and with me is Zach from Particle. What's your favorite particle?
My favorite particle?
Like gluon. Do you have...
Let's see. I think Charm Quark.
Oh, Charm Quark. Okay,
yeah.
Wow. That's like a Pokemon I've never caught. And we're at Postmaker Fair. We're here at Adafruit, and you're visiting because you have some exciting news to tell us. You're bringing the news in. Mm-hmm. But first, let's talk about who you are and what you do. So
sure.
Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, I am Zachary Crockett. I'm CTO, one of the founders of Particle. My co-founder is also Zach Supala. So company is all Zachs. We only hire Zachs.
Saves a lot on business cards.
It does. We are an Internet of Things platform. We make it easy and fast to build internet-connected products. We have developer tools, hardware, secure messaging, fleet management, integrations with other services, all kinds of things that you need when you want to make a connected product.
Okay, so you're like the engine of the Internet of Things.
There you go.
And you're famous for a couple products.
Sure.
The first one was the Spark Core. That was like your first big product that was released. That was a huge success.
Big Kickstarter in 2013. Yep.
Yeah, it was basically a microcontroller, a little bit like an Arduino, where you would program it in the cloud, and it was a Wi-Fi enabled microcontroller.
Yep.
And then you guys followed that up with
sort of leveled it up to a Broadcom chip and made the Photon. Made a sort of more professional version of that. And then just last year, we created the Electron,
which
is
so these
the
boards
cellular version.
Are so small. I mean, we'll show it over the overhead later.
Cool.
But so basically, cellular Wi-Fi connectivity. This is what people want when they talk about Internet of Things. They're like, oh, I want my soda machine to be able to call home when it needs more Diet Coke, for example.
And especially if you want to manage a bunch of these things out in the field, and you find a bug, and you want to, create that new firmware, and you want to deploy it to all the things, we make that super easy. You just upload it to the console. They all get it the next time they come online.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, we've seen a lot of Internet of Things companies where that is the challenge.
Yep.
To do that without breaking the device or having a security, flaw or something where people can zip the firmware around or whatever. So this is your claim to fame is just being able to do this right.
That's right.
Okay, so that's cool. And you guys have a whole bunch of other hardware bits and pieces too, kits and tools and stuff. And I know that there's some other platforms you support, like you support the Oak.
Yeah, sure. So Digistump makes Oak, the ESP8266 chip, that connects to our cloud. Blues and Red Bear Duo are both devices that do Bluetooth and connect to our cloud.
So Bluetooth Low Energy, cellular, Wi-Fi. So you really have carrier pigeons, the only thing not done yet.
Working on it.
Yeah, well, they're hard to catch.
Yeah, but there is one more that's out there that people love that we don't have yet.
Is this in the news?
This is the news.
Okay, that was a really good segue.
Good segue.
Into the
You
news.
set it up well.
Okay, so what are you announcing today? What are you talking about today?
Yeah, so we at Particle, we see the Raspberry Pi. There are 10 million of them out there. Lots of people have them. Super popular.
They got a cake and everything. 10 million.
Yeah.
10 million candles is a lot of candles.
Yeah. But we want to make it so that those things can easily be connected to the Particle cloud. So and we're seeing these things being used, Raspberry Pi is being used for Internet of Things projects and products more and more. Weather stations is a huge one, lots of home automation stuff.
Of course.
So if you want to make a product based on these and you want to get them out in people's hands and you want to be able to manage that fleet and you want to have the tools that you need to scale that up, that's what Particle's good at.
And it's interesting. It's actually Eben from Pi Foundation. Eben and Liz have actually mentioned a couple of times that You know, the compute module version of the Pi, which was designed especially for industrial uses, and the Raspberry Pi A Plus and the Pi 3, they said a large number of these ordered. I mean, there's 10 million Pis, but a lot of them are going to industrial uses. People are using them in products because they're reliable, they're durable, they're inexpensive.
It's a familiar programming
They
model.
work well, they're well supported, there's a lot of example code, so it's very easy, especially with the Pi 3 now with integrated Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
Well, you know, it would be really amazing if you had like a live demo or something.
In fact, I do.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so do you want to go to the overhead and
Yeah,
show the
sure.
demo?
Let's do
Okay,
that.
Let's go to this overhead.
So,
Okay, so
you know,
here is a
this
Pi
is
3.
this is dirt simple hello world of electronics, of hardware. We're going to blink an LED, but we're going to do it the particle way. So this Raspberry Pi, it's just connected to power. It's connected over Wi-Fi to
Wi-Fi
the internet.
is here. Yeah,
And
built-in Wi-Fi.
I have the particle Tinker app.
Okay.
So just using all of our existing development tools, you can write firmware, quote unquote, for these devices, blink an LED, whatever it is,
Yeah.
drive LED strips, read sensors directly from the Pi, so you don't necessarily need an external Arduino, and you
Yeah.
can use all of the the normal particle development tools. So
Okay,
if
do
I
it.
smack the little button in the particle app,
Wait, I think you didn't hit it.
boop, there it
you
goes.
go. The toughest part is the capacitive touchscreen.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. So this LED is
So-
on and off. Wow, and that's really fast too.
Yeah, and that's
this isn't-
going,
this isn't connected
out to our
directly.
AW. No,
Going
no
out.
direct connection here. This is going out
Out.
through our cloud and back.
Okay. Wow. So this is, and it's interesting. It's like this is, you know, it's a very simple demo, but
Mm-hmm.
it's actually very powerful because like this is, you basically just built an internet PLC.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So this is cool. So there's all these GPIOs, there's Raspberry Pi,
Yeah.
and it will work with any of the Raspberry Pis. You just happen to have a Pi 3, but any Pi with Wi-Fi.
That's right.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to go back to the main screen?
Yeah, we're definitely starting with the Pi 3 and 2. We'll try and get it to the Pi 0 as soon as that's feasible.
Yeah, it's a little tougher because it's like how do you log in and deploying is tougher.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind getting into a couple of the details.
Sure, yeah.
So what's running on here? Is it like a daemon? Is it like what is this? Is it pinging a web browser? What's going on the
Right,
Pi?
yeah. So it is a daemon. It'll be available as an apt-get package, an apt
Okay.
package. So you'll get on your
Particle
Pi
Pi.
and you'll say apt-get install particle Pi, and then service start particle Pi, and there'll be an easy onboarding process that we're still building. But we're going to make the setup as seamless as possible. And one of the big things that this is really opening up is that we are allowing people to provision their own devices onto the particle cloud. Up until this point, you had to essentially buy our hardware or make your own hardware and then work with our team to get your stuff into
Yeah.
the database. But this is going to open it up so people can provision their own Pis that are already out in the world onto the particle cloud.
And then how do you write firmware for it? Is there like a scripting language?
You use all the same tools that we have at Particle. So we
Okay.
have a web IDE and a downloadable IDE. You can clone the firmware locally and build it there. And it's Arduino type firmware. It's wiring. It's
Yeah.
a setup and a loop.
Yeah.
And plus the Particle primitives
Core,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
call them that are like particle function, which is what I just did there. I had a function that I was calling from the internet to turn the LED on and off. A particle variable when you want to just read the state of something in real time, and particle publish, which is when you reading sensor data periodically, say, and you send that out to a database, often going onto the internet, often going into a database.
Okay, this is really cool. And like, how many thousands of dollars does this cost people if they want to try this out?
Zero!
What? You just totally blew my mind. That's amazing.
If you have a Pi and you want to do this, now the trick is we are going to let people in. We're going to have a wait list. We're going to let people in a little at a time, make
Yeah.
sure that we get it right, because 10 million Pis is a lot of Pis.
It's
We
a
want
lot
to
of
make
Pis.
sure it doesn't break the experience for everyone else. So,
And then as people start developing companies, businesses, and they have large quantities, and they'll come to you and they say, hey, I want to manage this large fleet, and that's your business model.
that's exactly right.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All
Yeah,
right.
and as soon as we get past that initial beta, it'll just be open to the world. Anybody who wants to do this can do it. And there will be a limited number of devices, and then if you move it into our product tools, then there's a normal upgrade path for, okay, if you want to put 1,000 things on our cloud, obviously we need to make money there somehow. So,
Yeah. I mean, like, I think for a lot of people, like you said earlier, a lot of people just have, like, they just want to light up LED strips in their
Yeah.
dorm room, or they want
That's
to just
free.
check their fish tank.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are really good at, and that that's something that the Pi is really good at too. And it's really tough to beat. It's a $35 computer.
Yep.
To get started, and like you said, there's 10 million of them, and there's millions of the old ones as well.
That's right.
So it's going to be neat to see people start like, oh yeah, there's that Pi that I had, the Pi 1 or the Pi B+. Let's bring that back out and like use it for something interesting.
Yeah.
So
Give
it's
them a
really
new and
cool.
exciting way to like do something with it that maybe they hit a barrier before of like, oh, I'd have to like spin up my own server and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like now it'll just be one command and it's online.
Yeah, and it's nice because you're hitting now the low power, portable stuff, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular. But there's also a lot of people who are like, well, I don't need something that is untethered.
Right.
Like it's okay if it's plugged into the wall, which is where a Pi really shines.
Yeah.
And of course, the Pi can have its own cellular, and it can do Bluetooth also, and it can do Wi-Fi also.
Exactly.
So that'll be, or it can do Ethernet. I mean, you don't have an Ethernet. That'd be really funny if it was like the photon, like dunk, like a big Ethernet plug.
We've talked about it.
But this,
people request it. So, but yeah, now
you have a solution.
your Ethernet solution on Particle is a Raspberry Pi.
Okay, wow, that's exciting. So how long have you guys been working on this?
Maybe a month and a half or something.
That's
It's
not
come
too bad.
together like super quick.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on and off for a little while, but yeah, once we've been talking with the Raspberry Pi Foundation, and they're behind this too. It'll become part of Raspbian, so you won't even have to install it at a certain
I love
point.
it.
You just say, turn it on. That'll be great.
The Pi Foundation is really great at getting a lot of people working together, which I really like. They got Mathematica on there, and they're going to get Particle on there, and there's just they're doing such a good job at getting this to be like everything. You know what I mean? Like every little thing that you could possibly want to do, from playing video games to controlling your fish tank. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome to
And
the
that's
Raspberry Pi
what
family.
you all do. That's what we do too. Like
Yeah.
building collaboration in this space is
Yeah.
like, these are all the companies I love working with.
Well, I hope it isn't a secret because we're going to put this on the internet. But this is so exciting. So I think there's going to be a lot of very excited people. I think you're going to see a lot of projects come out really soon. So let's say
I hope
somebody's
so.
watching this video and they're just like, that is so exciting. I want to get on this mailing list. What do they do?
Come to our website, particle.io, and we don't have it yet, but there will be some big call out. There'll be a button for you to hit to say, get me on that wait list.
Okay, so you should just hit F5. They should refresh.
Definitely.
From now, sometime in late October, you think they'll be
Sure,
signed
yeah,
up?
that's about
Okay.
right, yeah.
All right, that's some awesome, exciting news. Thank you for dishing the gossip here at the Adafruit Factory.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure here. Shake hands on. Yeah, there you go. All right, well, thanks.
Okay, so that was previously recorded, so that's why I got freaked out for a second. I was looking at it, I'm like, who's here? But I was looking at the screen because I saw people in the background.
Oh, yeah.
But it's particle.io/particle-pi. Thanks so much.
Neat. So you don't even have to, if you have a Raspberry Pi, you can get the power of a Raspberry Pi with the really cool flexibility of Particle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. All right, so don't forget the code, SAMD. Lady, it is that time.
Okay.
New products.
Yes. It is new. New.
All right, let's do this.
New.
Okay, first up.
New. Yeah. It's a huge new.
Yeah,
It's the
Othermill
Othermill Pro. Yeah, we have the Othermill, which we've been carrying from Other Machine. It is a desktop CNC mill. It's really great. It can cut circuit boards, which is what we use it for. We prototype our PCBs on it before we send them out for manufacture. It's excellent for that. It can do 10 mil boards if you really want to. It can also etch soft metals, casting wax, brass and bronze. It can cut chocolate if you want. It can do a whole bunch of stuff. It's a very powerful tool, and this new version, the Pro version, is even more precise and more powerful. So they're kind of upgrading their capabilities to do more and more, higher precision, more power, probably even a little bit faster. So iterating and improving on the other mills. This is the latest one. Check it out. 10% off is actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
if you
it's
want
really
to get
good deal.
one, now's a good time.
Yeah, and I had all the things. Pro, external power supply, the toolkit that it comes with.
Comes with parts and projects. And
it has a bunch of stuff. So we use one at home and at the office.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Lady Ada. Ready?
Yep. Ooh, this is the 04U, and I'll show this on the overhead as well, because it's kind of interesting. So this is a USB hub for the Raspberry Pi, and what's neat about it is it uses these little pogo pins, and you clamp it to the Pi, and it uses the pogo pins to connect to the data and power pins on the Pi Zero to give you a 4-port hub. You can add external power if you want. You can also power it
that's
with
good
the
idea.
mini B, but it's a very cute little sandwich. So we carry, standard 4-port hubs as well, if you want a 4-port hub. But it is kind of neat to see this because it's like, hey, it's a hub, but it's in a weird shape. It is in a Pi Zero shape, and you can see here the little pogo pins that it uses to grab onto the power and data pins right underneath here. And it comes with the screws and everything, and then you even get the GPIO free, so you still have all the flexibility, but it's like a nice little hat, little bonnet for your Pi that adds a USB hub. So very handy. It's not the most inexpensive way to add a hub, but it is the cutest.
Yeah. Okay.
So I like it.
Next up, you ready?
Yes.
So I've been asking for a spy camera for a while.
Yeah.
You've known that I keep asking for it.
Lady, where's my spy camera? Where's my spy camera? Where's my spy camera, lady? Where is my spy camera? Where's my spy camera? Where's my spy camera?
Here, you stupid spy camera!
Oh, thanks, man.
It's finally here, a spy camera.
Yeah, you got a spy camera.
I've been asking every day for 4 years.
Yeah, you have been relentlessly making me watch that Simpsons clip since we started testing this out. This is a little spy camera, and I've actually tried to carry something like this for a while, and finally we got a really good one. This is kind of the guts of like a keychain camera or like a spy camera. It is, it's not a microcontroller that you can program. It's kind of an all-in-one thing. Has a little 720p camera display. This is the little camera module itself, and it has a chip on it. And basically what it does is you power it up and you can control it with that one white wire. After you give it power with the red and black wire, you can use the white wire to control it, and it can do two things. It can take photos and it can take videos.
Here's a photo.
And here's a photo. And if you
Time-lapse.
pulse the pin, you can have it take multiple photos that you can then turn into a time lapse, which is what I did. We just stuck it out the window for an hour and grabbed 150 photos or so, and then we just turned it into an animated GIF. This is really handy if you want to make a custom project where you want to do a time lapse or you want to take video. Remember, you can't send it commands like a microcontroller. All you can do is pulse that trigger pin, and if you do a small pulse, it will, like a button press, it will take a photo. And if you hold down that white wire to ground for over half a second, it will start taking a video, and it will continue taking video until you hold that white wire to ground again. And so you get one wire that, depending on how you toggle it, gives you photo and or video. And it has a microphone, so if you do video, it will give you a little bit of audio as well. It's not awesome audio, but it does work. It's warning people before they're like, hey, this my spy camera doesn't have great audio. It doesn't have great audio, but it does work really well. Yes, let me show on the overhead. So this is just the spy camera as you get it. So the module, and then there's this SD card. You can put up to like a 32 gig SDHC card in it. It has this like weird USB connector, but we give you a cable. I don't know what is this weird USB. It's non-standard, but you get a cable. When you plug it in, it shows up like a disk drive, so you can drag the files off of it. It doesn't have a battery charger in it, but it has a regulator, it seems, and it has this little chip that is some ASIC that all it does is video and photo capture. And here's a little microphone for your spy camera, and then of course here is the module itself and the control wire. So to make the time lapse, what I did is I took the spy camera and I cut that cable. And we'll do a little write-up on this. We just connected the 3-volt ground and power lines to the trinket, and then the white wire to GPIO 0, soldered in the connector for a LiPo battery, and it just takes photos every 15 seconds. Although, I had it on and then the battery died, so maybe I'll grab another battery really fast in a minute. But as a tool to make like little mini video cameras or live casting projects, this is a pretty good one because it just it's very simple and it just kind of works, and it's very, very small, so you can put it anywhere you want.
All right.
Very compact, especially when you pair it with a microcontroller. So you get like time-lapse control or video control or sensor to video or whatever you want.
All right. I'll think of something to ask you every single day for the next 4 years. Okay.
Okay.
Next up, what is this?
Okay, so this is the CP2104 friend. We've had the FTDI friend for a very long time, which is a FTDI USB to serial converter chip. Very handy for when you have a device that has a UART but doesn't have USB, like some Arduino compatibles or ESP8266s or other microcontrollers that don't have native USB. You can bootload them and or communicate them over UART. This is your USB to UART converter because we don't have COM ports on computers no more. Like I said, we've had the FTDI friend for a while. FTDI friend is a lovely friend, but it has some downsides. One is it doesn't go at extremely high frequencies. Like you can do up to like 900 kilobaud. This one goes up to 2 megabaud. So you get really high speeds, which is sometimes desirable. I've also found that you can do lots of different flexible speeds, like if you have weird baud rates you want to do. The FTDI does them, the CH430 doesn't, the PL2303 also has difficulty with that. I like that this one has LEDs, so you get RX and TX LEDs, so you can see data going in and out, which is kind of nice. And it's very inexpensive compared to the FTDI chip. So for 99.9% of uses, this is an excellent alternative to an FTDI adapter at a really great price. And Scilabs is an excellent chip company. They make really good quality products. These are genuine parts, never had any issues with them. They kind of work flawlessly on all operating systems. So I like that we have an alternative. I thought I would show it on the overhead, the two ways you can use it.
Okay.
So it comes with the assembled board, and then you get some right angle header and some male header. For if you want it to act like an FTDI friend, and this is like the old style FTDI friend, you can solder the header into it, and now you're like, hey, it's like little sister and big sister, has a micro USB connector, and is otherwise about the same size, a little bit smaller because the chip is so much smaller compared to this one. It has the RX and TX LEDs down here instead of on the side, but the pinout is the same. You can interchangeably use them. However, because we have more space, I was like, well, let's break out all the other pins as well. So if you want DSR and DCD and ring and CTS, all the other pins, there's also a 3-volt output that if you really want to get like 3.3 volt for small projects, you can grab that from there. And if you want to use that, you will solder in, oh, where did it go? Hold on.
What are you looking for?
I had a version with the header soldered in. Oh, here it is. Sorry. You can solder headers in, and then you can plug it into your breadboard as you wish. Grab a breadboard. Shut it off. And you basically have all the pins, and you can sort of like edge launch it off of your breadboard and wire it up to your microcontroller. So you get the best of both worlds, as they say.
Okay.
Is this universe where you have FTDI friends. So this is it plugged into a Pro Trinket. So yeah, we've tested this with, we actually use the CP2104 on a bunch of boards. So it is like a rock solid chip. And so we'll be slowly moving away from FTDI and replacing those chips with Scilabs because it allows us to drop the price on stuff.
From one friend to another friend.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
We still like FTDI. We just want to try another friend for a little bit. It's not you, it's us.
Yeah, okay. So the star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, is this module. The internet's going bonkers over this.
Yay.
It's the ESP32 module. We're selling these. This is
Yeah,
crazy. How do we have these?
We have modules. Well, Espresso sent us a bunch. They said, hey, if we send them to you, will you sell them? And we're like, yeah, sure. So we are selling individual modules. Right now, I think of a max of 5, but we'll bump that up as people get them. We want to just make sure everyone has a chance to develop with these. And these are for developers. At this time, they're not certified. When they're certified, they'll have certification logos on them. They are for people who want to design their own ESP32 boards, and they want modules to prototype with, so they get a sense of whether this is going to work out for them. They're lovely little modules. They're tinned. They have great performance. They're designed by and manufactured by Espressif, which means you're going to get really, really good RF performance because they tuned it to be exactly the right antenna and the right components and the right layout and everything. So you're going to get like, this is kind of as good as it's going to get for the modules. This is the official one. And these came from Espressif themselves. So check that out. We have them at a very good price so that they're not that much more expensive than using an ESP8266 module. And then on the bottom, you even have all the pinouts.
Okay.
Check the data sheet for layouts, diagrams, and you need a couple extra components on there as well.
And with that, with new products. All right, anything that you saw that was in stock, use the code SAMD, 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Top secret tonight, we're going to show some stuff from the vault. It's now time for, it's not out yet, don't ask.
Yeah.
All right, so.
We're related.
Yeah, it's related. What?
Yeah, so because we got these modules in, I finally was able to.
Is this the ESP? Is this a Feather?
Yeah, this is the ESP32 Feather, which actually I had designed one, but it used a previous version of the ESP32 module, which ended up not being manufactured. So even though I had PCBs made, I never ended up getting to make it. So I just revised it, and I sent out prototypes today. So this is for the ESP32, so I can show it on the overhead.
Okay, let's do that. It's a big deal.
Yes, this is the Feather, and it's just a printout. And then, you know, what's interesting is exactly the right width. So we'll have to put the pin labeling on the bottom. I mean, I put pin labeling in between the pins, but it's kind of minimal. And the pads are small, but I'm hoping that it works out. Hopefully there's enough solder paste on there to keep that module in place, because I'm fixed with the size of the ESP32, the Feather. I can't make it any wider for it to be compatible, which, you know, is how it is, but we'll see. If not, I can design my own module, but I'd like to use this one for now if possible. But this is, you know, I think it would be nice if I could use it. I think it's a nice look to have a module.
Okay, and with that, back in the vault, ESP32 Feather. Okay. All right, so type up your questions in the chat. We're going to do some speed round of some questions. We're going to go a little later tonight because we had a bunch going on. And we'll answer them. So here's the first question, lady. Are you ready?
Sure.
How does the development change from the ESP3212 to the ESP32 change the development of the Feather Huzzah?
It's a little bigger, so I had to squish things a little bit more. But I'm still working on it. Even though I sent out prototypes, I'm already kind of trying to shuffle it. I had to make it a teeny bit longer to fit the module, but I think I might be able to kind of shove everything back with some.
Okay. If someone wanted to get
Cleverness.
started with the ESP32 now, where would they start? What should they do?
ESP32.com has a lot of details. I thought like an ebook that was published with a PDF with a lot of details on it. Right now, there's a tool chain, a Tensilica C++ tool chain, and there's kind of the beginnings of an Arduino core that's developed by the same person who did the 8266 core, now doing it on behalf of Espressif. So it's still early, but it can apparently do like I2C and some SPI and some pins. It doesn't have full capabilities. It does have Wi-Fi. So it's slowly but surely happening. I don't believe there's any Bluetooth examples yet.
Okay, next up, how many individual NeoPixels can you run with the 3.7 volt lithium polymer battery until you need a resistor?
It depends on how big the battery is. You can drive a couple hundred if you have a big enough battery. It's best to really run NeoPixels from 5 volts because there will be a voltage drop along the chain. So if you're running more than a couple dozen, I would use a booster to get it back up to 5 volts.
Okay. Would we ever create a Feather module that included M0 and the SIM808 or similar Phono module, really looking for something similar to Adafruit Feather 32 for Phono with better microcontroller?
We haven't designed anything, but it's something we're thinking about.
Yep, I can answer this. Any plans for an M0 circuit playground? Absolutely.
Wait, that's not out yet. Why are you telling them secrets?
I mean, it makes sense.
Oh man, you're just giving everything
It was
away.
a good guess.
Oh.
I don't know.
Now
You have to make it.
Now you're gonna ask me every day. Where's my circuit playground M0? Where's my circuit playground M0?
I think I
Here's your circuit playground M0.
I think I have been.
Yeah, I have been.
Asking that.
Yeah.
All right, can we do a desk of Ladio with the ESP32, the ESPWROM32? Can we do that one day?
Yeah, I actually have a breakout for it, but when these Feather PCBs come in, absolutely we'll put one together, and we'll try it out, see how it works. Hopefully all the Feather wings will work. Oh, you know, what's really nice is once we solder, we'll just plug in all the Feather wings, try them one after the other, see if we can get them all working.
Next up, well, someone wanted to know when the Feather ESP32 to be released, but that was not out yet.
It's not out yet, so
Yeah.
don't ask.
Someone's homeschooled. They want to go to MIT like Lady Ada. There's
a lot of homeschool kids at MIT.
Yeah, here's something that MIT has, because we wrote about this. They have like the maker portfolio. So if you publish lots of electronics and projects online,
Yeah.
I think that fast tracks you more now.
It is part of your submission, the submission process.
Okay. Just wondering, why is it pronounced multimeter, voltmeter, ammeter, but then altimeter and tachometer and speedometer?
I don't know. You know, it's actually. I swear, I actually have thought about it, because like, is it an ammeter, and like voltmeter, vomiter? I don't know. Vomiter sounds like maybe something you vomit. I think it's just easier to say. Yeah, I have sometimes thought about that too. The things that we think about, engineers. Why do you?
Yeah.
There's something else like a barometer,
I don't know why they're different.
barometer.
People say solder and solder. I think it's
Yeah.
okay as long as you're doing something.
I think it's okay.
Okay.
I have heard some people say multimeter. I have heard it.
Altimeter.
Yeah,
That sounds nice.
maybe it's an Americanism.
next
I don't know.
Can you use a bus pirate to power the ESP? How do you say this? The room? How do people?
W room. I don't know.
W room.
Room.
Yeah. Can you use a bus pirate to power the ESP? W room 32.
I don't know. You need a really good 3-volt regulator. I think one that can give you at least 300 milliamps.
Okay. Those are the questions for tonight. I think we got through. Any Pi girls in the making? Well, I was thinking about
We just revised the Pi Girl
Yeah.
to work with the Pi Girl 3.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do a Pi Girl 3. We want to make bigger and better.
Yeah. Okay. Got through this. So those are questions, lady.
Okay,
Good work.
cool.
All right. Next up, we're gonna give away some. What do you want to give away tonight?
We're going to give away a spy camera.
A spy camera.
A spy camera.
Where's my spy camera?
You're not going to get it because someone else is going to win it.
Oh,
I think that's the most useful thing, because you can just use it immediately.
that's a good one for spy camera. I agree. They can just
Spy.
spy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the rules, Lady Ada?
Rules are, if you've won a prize before on this show, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. The first person to type in what Phil wants you to type into the chat wins this spy camera.
What's the PID, just in case?
I don't remember.
Okay.
3202.
Yeah. All right. Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go.
Ready, everybody?
In celebration of Native American History Month, who is known to be the first Native American to walk in space? We already went over it in chat earlier, so let's see. And it's not 42. Good guess.
The first person of Native American descent.
to walk in space.
To walk in space.
That's right. We had that in. If you type in a funny voice, can you win again? No. Let's see. Who's going to get it first? Looking for like a first name, last name. This is pretty close.
Do you want to give the correct spelling if required?
In YouTube, it looks like Amelia T.
Amelia.
Amelia T. Congratulations, Amelia T.
Nice work, Amelia.
You won in the YouTube chat. Email support@adafruit.com. You won. And we'll send you out a spy camera.
Yeah.
And then you can sit there every day until the
Until the UPS
either
will-
the UPS or the postal service person delivers it. All right.
Please enjoy your spy camera. Use
Good
it to
work,
spy.
Amelia. All right. Well, that's the show for tonight, everyone. Big deal.
Okay, we had a
Okay.
lot going on.
Yeah. We'll be here
Lots
next
of new
week,
products.
9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all the Adafruit team members, remote folks, everyone who did a fantastic job. And thank you for making this week. It was an intense week, but we're less few weeks, but we're here. And little special shout out. Happy birthday, Lady Ada. It was your birthday.
It was my birthday.
Recently.
And
Also, here's a photo of us from almost 10 years ago. We're celebrating, this is when we first met, we're celebrating our 3rd anniversary. We've been married for 3 years. We got married on Halloween. So this is us a while ago. I dig up some old photos once in a while, but I think we were at some tech conference. And
This is OzCon, I think.
yeah, so that's us from I think around when we first met. But happy birthday, happy anniversary, and and I have to say, everyone out there, I see a world where if we can get all of these beautiful things out of her beautiful mind, everything will be better. And so
I don't know, all is beautiful.
It is.
Half of it is just me thinking multimeter.
As much as it would probably be a wonderful selfish thing just to say let's just stop all this and go hang out together, I think that the cool things and the how you give and how you share, I think it enhances everything. I feel like I'm the advocate to help you get these ideas out to everyone, and it doesn't take away, it increases my happiness to be with you too, to see all these people do so many cool stuff, do so many cool things with what you do, and we have a neat company, and so anyways, it's been a ride. It's been really nice.
Yay.
And we'll keep doing this. I think the third anniversary for people like us is NeoPixel. We did a NeoPixel project that night.
K10 said 32 kilohertz crystal
Yeah.
oscillator, because usually it's a crystal.
Yeah.
He said, oh, crystals are great. You get 32 kilohertz or 16 megahertz crystals.
Yeah.
They're beautiful little silver tins.
So, anyways, we're gonna keep. We share a little bit about our lives, but that's part of it. But thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it, and don't forget, pick up some stuff. Save 10% off in the Adafruit store. CMD all the way up to midnight, and I'm gonna go to sleep. I haven't gone to bed in 2 days.
Okay, I know we're exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bug you some questions about Stemma, but we'll.
I know. We'll do that on the welcome.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
not out yet. Don't ask.
Okay, everyone. We'll see you next week. And here's your picture of a cat. And here is your moment of Zener.